So come on, let's be honest. How long have you been thinking about changing your life around and becoming your own boss? How long have you been thinking about turning your hobby, your passion, into your living? How long have you been thinking about becoming a Pilates teacher, but you're super confused with all this information that's going out around there on the internet and friends and families, and you're not quite sure how to go about taking your course, becoming a teacher, maybe having your own business? All this extra information is just giving you headaches and you don't know where to begin. Well, here today, I'm here to help you out. I'm here to show you and give you more information, the most important information you need to know to become a Pilates teacher, become your own boss, live the life of your dreams, and have that most amazing life you've always been thinking about. Now, don't get me wrong, things have changed since the pandemic. Things have changed, the industry has changed. All the information I want to give you today is recent, it's post-pandemic. Things have changed big time since the pandemic. The industry has changed since the pandemic. So research that you've possibly done from maybe videos you've looked at from maybe 2018, 2017, 2019 about teacher training at that time is not relevant today because the industry has changed so much. If we don't know me, my name is Anita Horry. I am a Pilates teacher, second generation Pilates master, teacher trainer, a Pilates business coach, a retreat owner, and I help people like yourself and Pilates teachers who want to live that life of their dreams, to build that business that they've always been dreaming of, that they've always wanted, without the hassle, without the stress, without having to really struggle and try to figure things out on their own. Because let's face it, if you could short circuit your way to learning things and to having your own business, why don't you? So look out for the next series of videos from myself about teacher training, about having your own business, about learning to turn your life around from maybe a Pilates zero to a total and absolute knowledgeable entrepreneur in the industry, to help others to be able to find your passion in sport, in wellness, in making others feel good, and of course, making a living out of it. The wellness industry took a hit at the pandemic, during the pandemic. The wellness industry went just like the entertainment industry, hospitality industry. So where the Pilates and yoga industry, so this is the industry that we're in, that actually was on the rise, just in the USA alone, just before the pandemic, it was just constantly rising, and went up to $10.33 billion in 2019. Then the pandemic hit, and of course it started to slow down. But in 2021, it started rising again, and back in 2022, which was only last year, it went back up to $9.88 billion, and that's really close to the figures that it had just before the pandemic. And it's expected to continuously rise in 2023, so it's going to go beyond the figures pre-pandemic. Now, why is it important to understand this? Because you know that the industry you're in is continuously growing. And it's a no-brainer that if you want to be in this industry, you need to start now. Don't wait another few years because things are going to continuously change. Now is the time. This is the best time for you to make those changes in your life. You want to make sure that you get as much information as you can to make the right decisions to be able to change your future. So what do you look for when you're actually looking to become a Pilates instructor? How do you even go about training? You see so much confusion online. You see so much confusion in the best Pilates courses. What has changed? There's been so many changes since the pandemic, and we need to appreciate and understand them. And there's one thing that I've really learned, and this I've learned from Tony Robbins. It's nothing to do with Pilates, but but it has a lot to do with doing business, with your own personal life, and with how you perceive things in life. And that is, you have to continuously move with change. If you don't change, then you're going to stay blocked. You're going to stay resisting things that are going to come your way, and opportunities are going to pass you by. And just because you feel, well, you know, I've got these values and I want to stick with these values, and this is what I've always done in the past, or maybe this is what I've been told to do in the past by other people, I can't do this because this isn't really going to flow with me, then you're knowing that you're going to be resisting this change that's happening in your life, and you're not going to have that dream life you've always wanted. So since the pandemic, there's been so many different course providers that have just popped up online. Everybody's doing their courses online, and unfortunately it's also brought about some flaky course providers that are even willing to give courses for the price of a meal. So that's exciting for you as a student, and you think, oh my goodness, I'm getting a great bargain here. But really and truly, what are you paying for? We all know that saying, like, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, right? So you really need to start doing your investigations well. You need to do your research well. And this is why the information that you learn in these videos is going to be crucial for you to make the right decision in becoming a teacher. So what are you going to be investing in? What questions do you ask? Who is going to be giving you the courses? What credentials does your instructor have? Who was their instructor? What kind of lineage do they have? Do you even understand what lineage is? Do you know that Pilates was actually created by a man called Joseph Pilates? Do you know that he taught a number of people who themselves then have taught other people to become teachers? Do you know how close your teacher is to that particular lineage? Which lineage did they study under? This is all really important information if you are truly going to be teaching Pilates. Now, if you're interested in teaching fitness and you want to become a fitness instructor, and then maybe you want to learn a few Pilates moves just to add to your repertoire, then maybe you think this is not good enough information for me. Maybe this is superfluous. That's okay. But if you want to become a comprehensive Pilates instructor and you really want to teach Pilates the way that Joseph Pilates taught it, you really need to ask these questions. This is super important for you to know that you have good credentials, that you have a good foundation, and that what you are going to be teaching is truly what Joseph Pilates intended. Then you have to ask questions about the course. What is the course content? What pieces of apparatus are you going to be learning on? Is there a specific order? You know, all this information I'm going to be talking about more and more in my following videos. But what's super important at this particular stage is to actually try and figure out what the content is. Am I able to teach beginners? Am I going to be able to teach intermediate people? Can I teach advanced sessions? You know, the more information you get, the better for you to make that best decision about investing your time and your money into a new course. Okay, so here's the thing. Since the pandemic, we have had this crop up of all these different courses, online, presential, and maybe a combination of both. So prior to the pandemic, and definitely in the times when I was studying to become a Pilates teacher, there were some very, very, very strict requirements in really spending lots and lots of time in a Pilates studio to understand not just how to teach the exercise, but how to run a studio. What do you do with the apparatus? Where does the apparatus go? What are the logistical issues with working as a Pilates teacher? You know, it's not just about teaching Pilates on a mat. I'm talking about Pilates comprehensive course here. So you're using the specialized Pilates apparatus as Joseph Pilates created. So since the pandemic, so many courses have now transitioned to the online presence. And of course, our expectations, people's expectations have changed. And because people's expectations have changed, many course providers have turned their courses to have online presence. And this isn't just about Pilates, this is about any kind of course that you're taking. You know how the online course industry has just exploded all over the world. So when it comes to actually learning Pilates, can it really be done online? This is a question you need to ask. Can it really be done online? Okay, that's going to be maybe a yes, maybe a no. You need to really ask questions like, what modules can be done online? What about the presential part of it? How can I be there? Where do I need to travel to? What percentage of the work is presential? The pandemic has turned a big chunk of Pilates courses to be taught online. But unfortunately, as you know, if you've ever practiced Pilates and you know, there's nothing better than your instructor actually giving you that tactile cue, or maybe giving you that little bit of an adjustment because they're right in front of you. They're right presentially in front of you, so they can see exactly what you're doing, and they can give you that little tactile correction that will make you feel, wow, this is what Pilates is about. This is where my body should be. This is how I need to be feeling it. So in trying to answer the question on whether you should be taking an online course or a presential course or a combination of both, this is something that you need to be comfortable with yourself. The most important thing to do at this stage, if you're still not sure about taking a course, is actually do classes yourself. Go and take classes and see what the difference is between having an online course, an online session, to taking a session in a presential environment in a studio, in a fully equipped studio where you can feel the difference between the two systems. And maybe then you can decide, you know, I'm actually happy doing something online, or no, I can't feel the benefit of doing something online. I'm really needing to have that combination of doing something online and maybe doing something presential at the studio. The way that the industry has turned, it is changing the way that Pilates is taught. It's also going to change the way that you teach Pilates to your students. See, again, I go back to my time. During my time when I was starting to teach Pilates, there was no online courses, there was no online classes, you don't even consider giving any sessions online. It's all presential. But we have to move with the times. We need to move with what expectations are coming from our clients nowadays. So yes, many teachers and all around the world, and I'm talking about Pilates teachers who are just starting up, to very, very, very seasoned teachers, including my own teacher, Lolita San Miguel. Lolita San Miguel was a student of Joseph Pilates. She's the only surviving Pilates teacher who was officially certified under Joseph Pilates. So, you know, she's giving classes at 88 years old. She's still giving online classes at 88 years old. She's moved on with the times. And yes, it's beneficial to give online classes, but it's also important to understand how presential classes are run, because the most benefit of the method is done when you are taking presential lessons. Now, I hope you like this first part of the series of videos that I'm going to be doing about the information you need to know before you start taking a Pilates teacher training course. And if you did like this video, please hit the like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video online. And if you're still interested to follow the videos on finding out the best information to become a Pilates teacher, do look out for my following videos. Until the next one, goodbye.